Howdy, I'm Daniel with RoslynRags, and thanks for watching this tie-dye tutorial. This is the first time that I'm opening up this design and that I'll see what it looks like. It's been washed once, and I find that after it goes through the spin cycle, it's a little bit easier to handle. There's not as much just loose dye all over the place. So here is the opened peace sign. I think it looks pretty nice. Let's go see how I tied it and dyed it. I'm at my tying table and I have this 100% cotton tapestry in front of me. It's been soaked in a soda ash solution, and it was folded in half, and then I folded it in half again. So this is the very center of the tapestry, and I have a washable marker, and I'm just marking where the center point is. Now I'm going to fold it back out into halves, and I have the center marked right here. And on my washable marker, I have a string. And I'm going to make a half circle coming out from that center point on the fabric. Alright, I can see that okay. Now I'm going to fold the center of the bottom to the legs. I'm gonna go about right there, and then I'm gonna fold the top of the center to the bottom section of the legs. I'm gonna try not to overlap these two top pieces. Now I'm going to fold these together. So I have all the legs and the center part of the peace sign in half right here, and then I have the circle of the peace sign right here. I'm going to sketch this out a little bit, and just to make sure I'm right. I'll go from the center. There we go. And draw it out. So I'm going to do a series of fan folds right here, starting from the center and going out towards the arc that I just drew. I'm trying to make them as even as I can, and I want them all to line up on the edge. If there's a little bit of difference, it's okay, but the more even that you can get it, the more even overall your design will be. And now I got to the arc that I drew, and I'm going to just kind of turn and try and get the line onto this edge of the initial folds that I started. And now I'm just going to follow that arc around, trying to keep all the pieces, all the layers of the fabric together. And I'm almost to the end. I'm going to even these out a little bit. I have some artificial sinew on a stick, and I'm going to use that to bind all this stuff together. I'm going to start on the outside and make sure that all my folds are where I want them. I'll wrap this around a couple times. I'm just trying to slide it underneath this without moving it around too much. I'm going to pull on it a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't slide out on me. And I'll just do that once or twice more, depending on how the artificial sinew is holding. Since it's a little waxed or has some kind of material on it, I don't have to tie a knot on it. Now that looks good. I'm going to try and get the arc and the legs of the peace sign together, since they moved around a little bit when I was folding it or tying this part up. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side with the artificial sinew. Wrapped around a couple times, 3 times. And now I'm just going to try and pull it taut. And as I do this, if I get it tight enough, the dye won't want to migrate in between the two sides of this. So the dye that I put on this side shouldn't go over to this side, and vice versa. And if you pull too tight, you can break the artificial sinew. And now I'm just going to put another one right here in the center. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to continue this on going this way, and instead of using rubber bands, I am going to tie this with the artificial sinew. So you probably could have started on this side and just worked your way over, but it's okay. So now that that's on there, I'm going to pull it tight, and I have it going from underneath, and I'm just kind of putting my hand on it so nothing moves around too much. Sorry if you can't really see it, but it's just the artificial sinew is cinching down around the design. And this will make circles coming out from the edge, the outer edge of the peace sign. I'm going to do it again. That's tight. Now I'm going to kind of fold the corners in. I'll do this one more time. Pull it tight. Wrap it around twice more. And pull on it again. Alright, that looks good. I'm going to leave a little bit of a tail so I can tie this off with a rubber band. I have a rubber band right here. I'm just going to kind of fold or put this piece together, and now put a rubber band on this section as well to finish off the design. And this just kind of makes it easier to move around. If the fabric's touching itself, it's easier for the dye to go into it. If it's all laid out, the dye would be harder to get through. But let's go dye it. We are in front of my dyeing tray, and I have the rainbow in front of me: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. And I'm going to start off with some red along the kind of center of the peace sign. And then I'm going to put some red on the first band from the the peace sign itself. And I'm just going to let it, the dye soak into the material. Depending on how wet or dry your material is, and which color dye you're using, it can soak in at different rates. This seems to be going in pretty good. If you put too much dye down, sometimes it won't want to soak in, and then you'll get bleeding into other areas of your design that you may not want that particular color. And sometimes you just need to let some dye soak in and move on to a different color. So now I'm going to use some orange and put it on this top piece, top half of the peace sign. This is Procion MX Fiber Reactive Dye. That looks pretty good. Now I'm going to put on a little more red. Let it soak in nicely. Some more red right here. Now I'm just going to continue the rainbow on with some purple on this band. And I'm trying to watch how the dye is going into the fabric so I don't put too much on. I'm going to put some blue next to it. And now some green on the end. It's okay if a little bit drips. I'm not too worried about a little excess dye. I just don't want all of it to drip. Just some more purple, and I'm gonna go through and just put a little more dye on all of these. Alright, now I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to do it again on this side, but instead of the orange, I'm going to be putting yellow there.
She gives us something I need to survive, and I'd go to the sun and back for her love. I'd fight in 1,000 wars to collapse there in her arms.
Alright, I'm gonna just squeeze this a little bit. I'll squeeze this one. The other ones look pretty good. So I will put this in a plastic bag and let it sit for 24 hours before I wash it out. But thanks for watching. Have fun dyeing.